you, Dennis. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing now? Good. Great. As Dennis mentioned, and I'm sure you're well aware by now, as part of this conference, BIGD and IPA released a call for exhibitors, and we had an impressive response. We had exhibitors apply from all across Western Africa. And ultimately, we invited 11 exhibitors that are doing incredible work in the space of digital inclusion and women's empowerment to join us at this conference. And I hope you got a chance to check out all of the exhibits yesterday and voted on them as well. If you haven't, I'm sorry, but you will have a chance to see the teams in front of us right now. So without further ado, I'd first like to start out by acknowledging all of our teams that participated in this exhibition. First off, I'd like to invite to the stage our two big bosses, Salifu Amadu, Country Director of IPA Ghana. Thank you. And of course, we have Dr. Imran Matin, Executive Director of BIGD. I will actually hand these to Salifu and Imran. Yeah. Another tech challenge. It's okay. All right. Salifu and Imran will be presenting certificates of appreciation and participation to all 11 of our teams that participated today. So first, I'd like to call to the front, AFOS Foundation DigiVibe. Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to please call forward BRAC Ghana Savings and Loans. Thank you, BRAC Ghana. Next, I'd like to please call to the front Foundation for Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Program. This team joined us all the way from Tamale. Thank you so much for joining us. Next up, I'd like to invite to the front Finn L., who joined us all the way from Ivory Coast. Next, I'd like to introduce Grow Ghana Edu Initiative. We can do better, come on. Next up, I'd like to please invite forward Grow For Me. I'd like to introduce IT for Youth Ghana Foundation. Next, I'd like to introduce Muna Kaladi. Next, please come to the stage, Retail Finance Distribution Initiative, Refined. We'll be sure to get Refined their certificate as well. Next, I'd like to invite up Ria's Crochetry. And last but not least, I'd like to invite forward World Vision Ghana. Thank you very much for your participation. We really appreciate your time and presence at our conference. Oh, okay. We have a request for all the exhibitors, before our awards are announced, to please come forward for a photo together. As you know, this was not just an exhibition, it was a competition for the top 3 exhibition booths. We had our audience engagement. You had the opportunity to vote on your top 3 booths, and I really hope you did so. We tallied the votes, and we also had a panel of judges visit all 11 of our booths last evening and vote on their top 3 booths. The criteria included relevance to the conference's themes, creativity and innovation, intellectual rigor, and potential for impact. Our judges were actually so impressed by all of the booths that they could not pick the top 1, 2, or 3. They simply nominated 3, and we used the audience's votes to break the tie. So your votes are in. And without further ado, I'd like to announce our top 3 teams. In 3rd place, receiving a cash prize of $200 US. I would like to invite to the stage Grow Ghana. Congratulations, Grow Ghana team. Now, in second place, receiving a cash prize of 300 US dollars, we have the team from Grow For Me. And the much anticipated first place winner. Can you guess who it is? Ha! In first place, receiving 500 US dollars, we have the team from Muna Kaladi. Thank you so much to every single one of our exhibitors. And congratulations to the winners. We really appreciate your participation.
Somebody just had $500 and they are not even happy. Oh, oh, because it has. I didn't say anything. Is it because it has a. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know. All right. Okay, so all too soon, we are at what we are all anticipating. We are at the most climax of the program. And I want our two leaders, the country director for IPA, Ghana, and then the leader from BRAC, to come out and then give us their closing remarks. And then we will take a selfie. Okay, you when they finish, don't worry, when they finish.
All right, thank you very much. Should we begin with a big round of applause for ourselves? I think when we started yesterday, we did make promises, right? We said that this was going to be an exciting conference. And it looks like it's lived up to the billing. Is that true? Right. But we couldn't have done this without a lot of you. And for everyone who's been part of this conference, we thank you for taking the time to be here. For all the contributions you've made, suggestions, and everything that you've brought to this conference. We'll start off with our keynote speakers. We had Professor Dean Karlan. We also had Mariam Esther Dasanu, and then Professor Ernest Aite. A big round of applause to this. Then we also have all the speakers, the presenters, the panelists. I still see a lot of you in the crowd. We also have our exhibitors who've been acknowledged just now, as well as the participants who've been key to the success of this conference. And without you, I don't think we would have been able to do this. I want to say a big round of thank you to everyone. I've seen a ton of implementers, policymakers from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. There was also from the Ministry of Finance. We also have our security services personnel in here. Nobody has commented throughout this conference on the way they look. Should we give them a round of applause? Thank you for sticking and staying with us. We appreciate. At IPA Ghana and IPA Global, we are always excited to bring these groups together, implementers, policymakers, researchers, and general practitioners, together to listen, learn, share ideas. In these conferences, we always learn that there's always so much more to be done, right? We've learned that just giving smartphones, Phil, giving smartphone alone is not enough. There's supposed to be, some literacy trainings and other things that should go with it. This and a lot of other things that we have taken away from today and yesterday has been key. We couldn't also have done this without the key organizing team from BRAC and IPA Ghana. And I would like to acknowledge some of you. I'm not able to mention all the names. But we have Joyce Jumper from IPA. A big round of applause for Joyce. Kim Coles asked me not to mention her name. A big round of applause for Kim. I didn't mention your name, Kim. We have Tasnuba from BIGD. A big round of applause. Beatrice Pakinam. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So we can't go through all the list, but thank you, IPA, and thank you, BIGD teams, for a great conference. We very much appreciate it. And to the GIMPA staff who've been helpful and very supportive, we also thank them for hosting us. Thank you. Last on my list, but not the least, we have our able presenter. Our able MC, the moderator of moderators, in the person of Dennis. A big round of applause. We enjoyed you from yesterday to today. You've kept the place lively. I like the fact that we had to do the private versus public schools, Salifu versus international. It was very refreshing. I started thinking, oh, my school, was it Salifu or was it public school? Yeah, and I have to get to you to see where we put myself. But yeah, on a more serious note, thank you very much for being part of this conference. I will leave you now and invite my colleague, Imran Matin, to share the other aspects of our remarks. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Great, thank you so much. After 22 papers and 3 keynotes, I think, it's very difficult to try and distill or come up with some key messages. But, I want to talk about 2 challenges. But before I do that, I really, really want to thank, obviously, Salifu, the country director, and Kim. I think without this partnership, there was no way we could have really pulled this off. So let's give a big round of applause to both of them. Great. Now, so there are 2 challenges that I think I really would like to, reflect as we conclude this conference. So the title of this conference was Access to Agency, and was about empowering women through digital inclusion. I think I'm going back with a challenge that the the journey from access to agency is still extremely mixed. And I think we need to really, really work much more in terms of figuring out the agency challenge much more clearly and much more directly. I think it has become very clear that access on its own is not going to lead to agency. As a matter of fact, perhaps a focus on agency could itself help some of the access constraints that we may have in the first place. So I think a much deeper focus on understanding agency is going to be really the big intellectual and knowledge challenge. And I think we already identified, and these are not like really new, but I think we have now identified the challenge of agency through a far rigorous identifiable way that we have been able to really detect why the agency challenge is so complex. There are structural barriers, there's sticky norms. We talked about the importance of context. I think we talked about the non-linearity of progress around agency. And I think most importantly, I think this was something Esther talked about yesterday, this whole staircase thinking rather than a linear thinking, I think is really, really critical. And a staircase thinking basically takes the idea of traps at every stage of the staircase far more seriously. There are different types of traps as one moves from one stair to the next stair. So I think thinking in terms of staircase is actually, I think, quite a good way to think about how do you make concrete progress around agency. And at the moment we think about traps, we have to think about the messy reality. We need to think about trade-offs, and we need to think about short run and the long run as well. So these are all ideas that I think emerged from a number of presentations that we heard, and I think we really have to work very, very hard on these areas. Now the second challenge I think that I have been reflecting on is this, and this is from I think the keynote today from Professor Ernest Aritre, which is really around, to me, it's about equitable knowledge partnership. I think we talk a lot about inequities in many dimensions, but I think we don't talk enough about inequities in knowledge and inequities in knowledge partnership. And I think we need to think about how do we create mobility and equitable models of knowledge partnership. And this equitable knowledge partnership challenge is not only a north-south challenge, it is also a gender challenge, it is a class challenge, it is an identity challenge. And I think it is also a dynamic challenge. So it's not that we're making progress and then new forms of knowledge inequities emerge. And we need to be really awake to this whole challenge of how do we address inequities in knowledge partnership continuously. The reason why that is important is because I think that it impoverishes the whole humanity if you do not address the inequities in knowledge partnership. Because it really takes away from one of the fundamental urge of human beings and capability of human beings to produce knowledge. And we all are capable of producing all types of knowledge. And I think that inequities in knowledge partnership frustrates that opportunity to really come up with solutions, to come up with ideas through which we can advance humanity. So it is from that perspective that knowledge inequity is extremely important, that we need to really take very, very seriously. Again, I would like to thank everyone for this 2 days, and I think they were, we had a great conference, but I think it's all about what do we do next with this. That ultimately I think matters. I think we have ideas. We will be doing a synthesis and a distillation, as of over about 35 research studies that we've been funding. These are coming to end lines, and they're coming up with the outputs. So we will be within this year coming up with distillation, because I think as we were sitting here, I'm sure all of us came up with our own ways of framing what we are learning. But we would like to now do this very seriously. So the distillation is going to be really, really critical exercise that we're going to be doing now. And yeah, I hope we will find an opportunity to keep in touch, and hopefully have further conversation on these two challenges that I really think we should be working harder on. Thank you so much.